Welcome to another installment of Free Money NFL Week 3 edition. A segment which truly lived up to his name last week. We had a great week, fantasy-wise and betting-wise. We went 2 for 3 once again. So pay attention and you can earn some cash this week. Now, I know fantasy owners, you're kind of in scramble mode after last week where the league was plagued by injuries. So we're going to try and help you out the best we can. Let's get right into it. Start Cam Newton. If you've been paying attention the past 2 weeks, this should be an obvious start. But here's why I like him. One, he's a running quarterback, like Josh Allen, who I said last week. That's always good news for fantasy players. And his passing accuracy has improved as he's gone to New England. The Raiders' defense has allowed 6.5 yards per play this season. And that's good news for New England, who likes to go over the top. He's going to hit Edelman over the slot, and he can run the ball. He's the go-to guy for Josh McDaniels in the red zone, and he is averaging 30.1 fantasy points per game. This is a layup. Start Cam Newton. Start Kenyon Drake. Drake has not been good this year, which is fine because he'll probably be cheap in DraftKings. He's facing Detroit this week. This is a unit that has given up the third most scrimmage touchdowns and the third most fantasy points to opposing runners dating back to last season. So while Kenyon Drake hasn't been great, I like the matchup this week, and he also can catch the ball out of the backfield. He'll get a couple cheap catch points from Kyler Murray on checkoff. Start Jerick McKinnon. Kevin Coleman and Raheem Mostert went down with injuries last week. McKinnon rushed for 77 yards and a touchdown, and he's matched up against a Giants team that got torched by Benny Snell Jr. and David Montgomery. Fantasy-wise, the previous 2 weeks, he's a great bargain buy. I would put him in the flex. I like Jerick McKinnon a lot this week. Start CeeDee Lamb. Lamb looked great last week. He was great at Oklahoma. The guy has a ton of speed. He caught 6 of 9 targets for 106 yards and a win over the Falcons. And he's got a great matchup next on the slate. The talented rookie will face the Seahawks defense that allowed a ridiculous 208 yards and 34.4 fantasy points per game to enemy slot receivers. That's where Lamb is lined up most of the time. I think you're going to see Amari Cooper getting most of the number one corners. So CD should have a pretty good game against this flimsy Seattle defense. So this is going to be a great start. If you want to use him in the flex, there's another option as well. Start Noah Fant. The Broncos have nobody on offense. Drew Lock, gone. Phillip Lindsay, gone. Courtland Sutton, gone. So they only have a couple options here. One of them is running the ball, obviously, with Melvin Gordon, and then you have a rookie wide receiver in Jerry Jeudy. But I like Noah Fant a lot. I think he's going to get a lot of targets and be Jeff Driscoll's best friend this week, especially in the red zone. He has 10 catches this season, and 2 of them have been for touchdowns. He has a good matchup too. The Bucs have allowed an average of 13 points a game to tight ends dating back to last year. All right, now let's go over to the betting side of things. Take the Texans over the Steelers. The Texans are getting 4.5 points in this one. The Steelers have turned the ball over at least once in 25 straight games. They let a team led by Jeff Driscoll and company hang around, and this week they faced Deshaun Watson, and they're desperate for a win after an 0-2 start. The number's too big to pass up here, especially the Texans. Don't be fooled. They play the Ravens and they play the Chiefs. Those are the 2 best teams in the NFL, so of course they're going to lose. I think they'll find their footing in this one and cover, and probably I think they'll pull off an upset here in this one too. This is my bet of the week. Start the Bucs over the Broncos. The Bucs made us some money last week if you bet on them like I did over the Panthers, and now they're playing a really banged up Broncos team like I mentioned before. The defense just isn't the same, and the Broncos, when Drew Lock doesn't play, are 3-8. Jeff Driscoll starting this week. He's 1-7 as a starter. I am convinced if Drew Lock's not playing for the Broncos, they're not a good team. And the Bucs have held their own against Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey, which means they can stop the run. That's the Broncos' only option with Melvin Gordon. If they can stop him, which I think they will, the Broncos are in trouble. I smell a blowout here. They're favored by 6. I think they're going to win by at least 10 points. Finally, take the Patriots over the Raiders. I mentioned this earlier. The Raiders, they're allowing 6 yards per play. So that's good news for Cam Newton. On the defensive side of the ball, the New England secondary is really good, and Bill Belichick will find a way to slow down Darren Waller, who he torched the Saints last week. But Belichick's smart. He's going to scheme up something for him, and Derek Carr's not going to be able to dink and dunk all over the field. Josh Jacobs will only be able to do so much. I think the Patriots are going to win this game. They're favored by 5.5. They should easily win by a touchdown in this one. That's all I have for you. Thank you for listening to Free Money this week. I'm Mr. Kaminski. Have a wonderful football Sunday.